I feel like I'm losing muscle when I don't work out. Here's where I'm going. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me. But you ever, take a day or 2 days off from working out and you feel like your muscle is shrinking, you feel your body is just like disappearing, and you just feel like you got to run back to the gym to go get that pump. Well, I think it's threefold, right? I think it's mental, physical, and some spiritual battles that we're dealing with. I'm Coach Roby. I train strength and conditioning training, a number of athletes, and just everyday people as well. And I also coach high school football. So for me, I'm always active and I stay, in the gym. That's what I love to do. I love working out. Maybe not as hard as I used to, but I definitely love still the pump. I still love it. So I think that what happens is, one, mentally, we think we lose that because we don't feel that pump anymore, right? We're in our routine. We know our workout regimen. We're getting our pump on. We're leaving the gym pump. Our pump lasts maybe a couple days, and then it feels like I take a day off or I take 2 days off, and it feels like my muscles are flat. It feels like I'm shrinking. And I think it's just more of a mental thing than anything else. And I have to battle with that. I got to get that out of my head so that I don't take myself down that road thinking I have to stay in the gym or always got to be working out because it's not. And then if you look at it from a physical standpoint, when we're out of our routine, we're going to lose the water retention, right? Loss of muscle, the glycogen in our muscles are probably not there. We probably are a little flat, but we're not losing muscle per se. You can't lose muscle over 1 or 2 workouts being missed. It takes time, right? Just like it takes time to build it, it's going to take time to lose that muscle as well. What we're losing is probably just our routine. We're used to being pumped, right? We're used to having that hard look or whatever the case may be. I think that the way we can avoid some of this, and I'm guilty of it too, is just comparing ourselves, comparing ourselves against us yesterday, or comparing ourselves against maybe other individuals. That's one thing. Two, if you're how can I say it? If you're always mirror checking, right? What I mean is if you're always looking at yourself in the mirror, I'm not taking from a vanity standpoint, but you're always looking at your physique or the way your clothes are fitting. If you're always mirror checking, that could play a psyche in you, right? Your dieting can play definitely a psyche in it. Maybe on your workout days, you're eating differently because you need the protein or the carbohydrates or whatever. And then on your non-workout days, maybe you're not eating as strict, and maybe that's causing, the flatness in what you're feeling. But, it's not really, you're not losing muscle is what I'm trying to get at. You're not losing muscle. It's more just us just resetting ourselves to understand that from a mental approach, we're used to a routine, especially those who work out. We're used to a routine. We're used to getting that pump. We're used to having, our blood flow, blood field. And when we don't, we take a day or 2 off. It just seems like we're losing it and we go flat, but you're not. It's just really things that we have to look at and be careful and mindful of. Like I said, the mirror checking, the scale, that's a big deterrent, right? Because the scale can either motivate you, excuse me, it can either motivate you or it can demotivate you. So I always try to tell people to avoid the scale and just go by how you feel. How do your clothes fit? How does that look on you? How does this look on you? How do you feel in that clothes? More than looking at the scale, because, the scale I can eat something bad one night and it's still sitting with me the next day. Or, if you're a woman, maybe you're retaining, right? Water retention right now. That could play a part in it. So I always try to say, don't let the scale measure you in terms of, are you making progress? Are you not making progress? It's more going by what you feel. How do I feel in my clothes? How do I feel in am I walking around? What do I feel? If I feel differently, then maybe there's something you can adjust or not. But try not to use the scale. Try not to mirror check all the time. Try not to listen to others, because I know from a workout standpoint, those that work out, the last thing I like to hear is that for me, I'm only talking about me, is I don't like to hear that I'm skinny, right? I don't like that term when it's used. Or if I'm overweight, like, wow, man, you've gotten fatter, or you're getting skinny. Those are the things I have to avoid, letting those negativity, those words infiltrate me to where that I'm not, taking the needed rest. And lastly, from a spiritual standpoint, if we look from a spiritual standpoint, rest is important. There's one Bible verse that I like. If we look at I got my Bible, Isaiah 40. It speaks about Isaiah 40, 29 through 31. And he says he gives power to the weak and to those who have no might. He increases our strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. And that's the key, is that we have to wait on the Lord, right, to renew our strength. So the Lord is telling us that we need rest. We are told to, take a day off or two. And in that time that we're physically taking the time off, now our spiritual awareness can rise, right? We can take a harder spiritual look at ourselves. Do I need to fast, right? Is my dieting right? Am I mentally connected with the Lord in my non-workout days? Because sometimes we can get into our routine and we forget about including Jesus in our routine. We forget that we're really should be in line with him, and let him focus us and guide us through every rep, every set, every down that we take. So that's just me. That's where I'm at. There's a couple other Bible scriptures definitely on strength, on resting. I'm big on iron sharpening iron. Proverbs 27:17. I'm big on that. There's another one, Second Corinthians, where we talk about, the strength, renewing your strength. So if you're like me and you feel like you're hard on yourself, or that you are losing muscle when you're not working out, don't be hard on yourself. Take that needed rest and just continue to stay in the gym and stay active. Peace. God bless. I'll talk to you later. Hey, matter of fact, give me a comment. Let me know if you agree with the way I'm feeling, or what do you do on your off days? Let me know. What do you do on your off days so that you're not running back to the gym? All right.